Hey everybody, it's Flatbread Friday, and I had one little bit of last tomatoes from my garden. My tomato plants are now dead, and I was thinking about making caprese, but I got myself some diced pancetta and little balls of fresh mozzarella cheese, and I'm going to add a little bit of chopped red onion and some fresh basil. I did pull up my basil plants and put them in pots and brought them in my house so I can have fresh basil for the rest of the year. And we're gonna make a pancetta caprese pizza, and it's gonna be fun and yummy. Let's do it. My favorite pizza dough from the fresh market, and it's going down on a floured board. We're gonna coat both sides, and we're gonna stretch it out, shape it up. Start with the edges, like we always do. Stretch out the middle. And then we're going to continue on. The edges are still kind of fat. And this is going to be a round pizza today, so we're going to try to make it round. And let's shape it up. Our dough is shaped up pretty well. And now I think we're going to try and raise the crust. And then we're going to put our toppings on and put our pancetta caprese pizza in the oven. Let's do it. Okay, I've rolled up the edges, and now we're going to take our thumb and forefinger, and every inch we're going to do a crimp so it stays up. You probably can't see that because my hands are in the way. Let's see if we can get her done right here. Okay, we're gonna keep going until it's all. First thing that's going on is my very favorite roasted tomato sauce. I made about 5 batches of these with the tomatoes from my garden this year and put them in the freezer. Pull this one out, and this is gonna be our sauce. We're gonna spread it on. Let's see how much we need. We continue on until it's all sauced up. Our roasted tomato sauce is on. And the next thing that's coming, some shredded mozzarella cheese. Sprinkle that all around, give it good coverage. Our cheese is on. Now it's time for our diced pancetta. Pancetta is similar to bacon, as you probably know, but it is spiced and dried, but it's made from the same part of the belly as the bacon is, so it's kind of good. It smells really good, and we're going to sprinkle it on. I'm going to need to use 2 hands for this because it's fatty and it's sticking to my hands. Our pancetta is on. Now it's time for our last bit of fresh tomatoes for this year. Sprinkle those around. They were little tiny, and some of them, some of these were green when I picked them, but they ripened, but some of them didn't ripen. They just went bad in the brown paper bag where I had them. Okay, we're going to spread these around evenly. Our tomatoes are nicely assembled on there, and we're going to do a tiny little sprinkle of red onion. This isn't a traditional caprese pizza, but it's got tomato and fresh mozzarella, so whatever. That's why I put the name in there, filled the name. Okay, I think that's plenty of. I'm going to season our tomatoes and onions with a little sprinkle of salt and pepper. Give them a little flavor. That ought to work. Here are our fresh mozzarella balls, and we're just going to distribute them around. Keep going till we're covered. Our fresh mozzarella is on. Our oven is preheated to 425 degrees, and we're going in the oven. If I didn't have any fresh basil, I would sprinkle some dry basil on this, but I'm going to be doing a chiffonade of fresh basil when this comes out of the oven. So it's going in. It's probably going to take 20-25 minutes, and we'll see what it looks like when it comes out. While our pizza bakes, we're going to make our basil chiffonade. And I've done this before, but I'm going to do it again. You want to make stacks of the leaves, biggest to smallest. Set these aside. This is our first stack. Roll them up. And slide the knife through. And make shreds of beautiful fresh basil. We're going to continue with the rest of the leaves because the pizza is almost done. Our basil chiffonade strips are all prepped up, and when the pizza comes out of the oven, we're going to sprinkle it on, and then we're going to slice it up and serve it. Our pancetta caprese pizza is out of the oven. Crust is browned and toppings are bubbly, and now we're going to serve it up. Well, slice it up first and then serve it. I have pre-sliced it, and now it's time for our basil to go on while it's still hot. And that's when we're going to take a bite. Make sure we've got good coverage. And here's our finished up pancetta caprese pizza. Here's our pancetta caprese pizza on a plate. And now we're going to take a bite and see how good it came out. Thank you for joining me for this week's edition of Flatbread Friday. And now we're gonna, the cheese is awful dribbly. Here's our piece of pancetta caprese pizza. Looking good, smelling good, and going in. I was right, that did come out yummy. It's not a classic caprese, but it tastes good too. And pancetta's always been one of my favorites. And it was a great way to use up my last batch of tomatoes from my garden. And we'll see you again soon. Happy Flatbread Friday.